Okay, the last part is how do we do the calculation for the t-test, or to finish up our data analysis. So to do that is quite easy actually. After you have activated the add-ons or add-ins for the Excel, now when you go to Data tab up here, see, you're gonna see the button called Data Analysis Tool. Now when you click on Data Analysis Tool, it's going to give you a whole lot of choices. So as we figure out from our flowchart, just since we have two groups of trees, we're going to need the t-test, right? Now there's three types of t-tests we see here. There's pair two sample, there's two sample assuming equal variance, two sample assuming unequal variance. Now we're really just going to use either the pair two sample or the two sample assuming equal variance. So what does pair means? Pair means that they will be one-to-one with each other. So for example, if I have a before a treatment and then an after a treatment, I would use the pair two sample. That's a one-tailed t-test. But obviously I don't have before and after. I have two very separate groups. The trees on Trần Hưng Đạo Street and a tree on Nguyễn Trãi Street. So I'm going to say two sample. Now assuming equal variance means I'm just saying assuming that they have the same sort of distribution. You know, I can go into it, but let's just say we're gonna just assume equal variance for the most thing that you're gonna come across. How about that? Okay. So then I click OK. It pop out for me this box. Oops. Where's my tree? Here's my tree. Okay. So variance range 1. I'm going to click on that little button on the right there so that I can choose it like so. See this button on the right hand side. So what it does is it make that box smaller so I can choose my numbers. So after I choose both of my numbers, variance 1, variance 2, hypothesize mean difference. This is saying, what is my null hypothesis? Well, my null hypothesis is that there is no difference, so I'm going to say 0. And I'm going to try to reject my null hypothesis, right? If you have select Trần Hưng Đạo as part of the cells that you select, then you would click on label. I didn't select Trần Hưng Đạo as a part of my shell. All my values are numbers, so I don't need to select label. Now the alpha here, meaning how confident do you want. So if I want 95% confidence level, I would say alpha 0.05. Why? Because 1 minus 0.05 is 0.95, which is 95%. If I want a more stringent, a stronger test, then I might change this to 0.01, for example. Then I would choose the new worksheet. Okay. So once I click done, what it does, you probably can't see it here. See, it have opened up a new sheet, and in this new sheet, it have given me everything that I need. It have given me a t-test, 2 sample assuming equal variance. It have look at my first variance, the second variance. The mean is 17.4 and 11.9. Okay, let's double check. So I'm gonna go back to my first sheet just to be sure. Okay, so I can double check that by looking at my average. So here I already say average equal average Trần Hưng Đạo Street is this. Click enter, and I could even drag it over like so, and I would get the same average of the Nguyễn Trãi Street. 17.49, 11.9. Okay, so the computer have done correctly. 7.49, 11.9. Okay, it have given me the variance. I don't really need that, but let's just leave it there. Let's some observation. How many sample do I have? It have given me DF. This is degree of freedom. Okay, so it's having given me the degree of freedom. It had given me the T stat. So this is my value right here, my statistical value right here. It had given me that the probability, oh, we don't really need one tail because we are looking at two tail, right? So I'm just going to delete this. Okay, two tails. So the probability of my T stat being smaller than my T critical value is this much. Well, what does this mean? Okay, real simple. You compare this number with my number of 0.05. If this number is smaller than that window that I want, then I will reject the null hypothesis that yes, there is a difference between the tree in Trần Hưng Đạo Street and the trees on Nguyễn Trãi Street. That's just what it is. Okay, now how do I put that into this the format that we use to? So essentially, degrees of freedom, I would say n1 plus n2 minus 1, and then instead of and then instead of this, I will write whatever number that we have here, degrees of freedom 18. Okay, so for my test, I would say 18 over here. The formula would be exactly the same. The T calculate for me is this one right here, so 5.29. I can round up. So 5.29. T critical for me would be 2.1. So I say 2.1. Okay, and then because our test T value is greater than our critical value at P of 0.05, we can accept the alternative hypothesis. We can accept the alternative hypothesis. That the trees on the two different streets are different from each other.